to the Iesu, the anointed ones, to pound it, because he only had a limited amount of time with these guys before N.O.I was looking at the watch like, where the hell is everybody, okay? So to get this knowledge pumped into them faster and faster, he used this device called the Ankh, which is now what you guys call the Ankh, the angel, or the Ankhel, okay? And the root comes from that. Now, since he was using the Ankh, he becomes known as the Ankh in association with the Ankhels, and this is how Prince Ea becomes known as the Ankh-E, Enki. So that's where the name Enki comes from, Ankh, okay? Eventually, he was known as the Ankh. Eventually, the I is attached, Anki, okay? So Prince Ea is his real name. Enki is his pen name, okay? So this is how he gets to be known as this, okay? So now, known as Enki, Iesu, all right? All of a sudden, all these words start relating to each other, and they start going in a circular pattern with each other. Enki takes the Iesu into caves. Now, he even, what he does here is from the perspective of these guys, ultimately abominable. You got to keep that in mind along the way, because there's a word that comes out of this later on that you'll understand why. He goes teaching them. They become the anointed ones. He's using the Ankh, pumping it into their brains, into their genetics, into their cell memory, into their racial memory. This eventually will become the Temple of Solomon and the family of man, okay? What he did, though, aside from using the Ankh, he also used another process to speed it up. Initially, there was the Arian technology of mind control and brainwashing. Remember what I said over there, psychological warfare? They used a particular type of crystal technology to help Anu and Enlil and Ea program the Adapa to do exactly what they were supposed to do. Bam, instant brainwashing, because the mind is no different than the hard drive of your computer. It can be erased. It runs on electricity, so it's easily erased, all right? Well, he goes and turns around and uses it the other way, okay? So he's using the reptilian, if you were trying to piss off the queens, this would be the way to do it. He uses that same reptilian Arian technology to now pump information into the minds of the Iesu even faster, okay? They become the anointed ones. Enlil, still exhibiting his sadistic labor campaign of destroying the Adapas. One day, Enki, now known as Enki, he's walking through the garden, which is where you get the term Garden of Eden from, and, feeling sorry for the Adapas, because now he's got two classes. He's got the Iesu, he's got the Adapas. Decides to go to the Adapas themselves and help them in a different way, okay? Basically signing his own death sentence. But he goes into the garden, finds the Adapas, and starts talking to them. They know who he is. They love him. And he says, how's my brother treating you? And, like, not too good. And you don't like what you're doing. Mm-mm. He says, now you got to remember, once the process was set in motion with the Adapas, the point was, in order to reproduce the perfect slave every time, you had to set up a system of mating. This later on was repeated by the Nazis in terms of controlled genetic mating, okay? Well, in this particular case, one male Adapa was forced to mate with one male female Adapa all the time. Henceforth, perfect predictability as to what kind of slave offspring would be produced every time. It was a way of manipulating racial memory and cell memory in a slave economy, okay? And the thing is, the only way to keep that going was to have it in a controlled biosphere environment. That controlled biosphere is, of course, what you read about in the book of Genesis, the Garden of Eden, okay? This is where you get the concept of an Adam and an Eve, okay? One male Adapa forced to mate with one female Adapa, okay? And all of them had to do that, and they were all tagged, all right, so they would remember who they're supposed to have sex with. And at a certain time of the month, at the ring of the bell, they'd say, come and get it, and, they'd all go in there and go at it, and that would be it, all right? Well, the thing was, that was for all the misery that there was, that was the only form of enjoyment that they had. So now, Enki walks into the garden and he says, what if I could show you something that would make your life that much better? He says, you're not going to escape the slave system that you're in. I can't do anything for that. He says, but I can teach you something that will make your miserable life that much more pleasurable. He says, you know that thing you're allowed to do once a month at the ring of a bell? He says, well, here's a magnificent concept. Guess what? You can do that anytime you want, anywhere, with anyone, okay? All right? So they're thinking about this, right? And they're looking at each other, and all of a sudden the adopter starts smiling. All right? Well, later on, Enlil's looking around, the Anunnaki are looking around, nothing's getting done. Where the hell is everybody? All right? All right? So Enlil goes into the garden looking for them, all right? And of course now Enki had told them, said, look, I'll teach you this, but you have to promise and make damn sure that my brother does not find out about this. He says, otherwise everybody's screwed, all right? So, that's right. Yes. So, but as with everything, somebody's bound to mess this up big time, okay? Someone's going to make a mistake. Well, sure enough, someone was caught by surprise, right? Enlil's walking through the garden looking for something. He hears this noise behind a bush, right? So looks behind the bush and sees a male adopter fully erect, getting it on with a female adopter that wasn't tagged with the same symbol, okay? At that point, the gig was up. Enlil knew it was his brother. He says, where is that son of a bitch? I'll kill him, right? And this, once that went out, then he found out that not only did he do that, okay, not only did he do that, but he found out that he was also teaching the anointed ones forbidden knowledge, okay? So now he found out about the Iesu, okay? So now he goes on this unholy, massacre, starts just killing off, because at this point now, the adopters have been having sex with everyone. This produces a total screw-up in the genetic structure of slavery, okay? Now you can't tell what kind of product is going to come out, the end results, okay? All these female adopters are pregnant with God knows what. And on top of that, to make matters even worse, a select group was picked to be taught forbidden knowledge. And this forbidden knowledge was, of course, the whys and wherefores of the galactic community and where the adopter came from in the first place. Okay? You're not supposed to be teaching the slave where he came from, okay? Because that's where Mary Shelley gets the idea for Frankenstein, okay? The awakening of the beast, and then the beast coming home to the creator to kill the creator, okay? So he goes on a rampage, killing everyone looking for his brother. At this point, Enki's got to get out of town, all right, real fast. So he takes off, but he also takes off with a whole bunch of the anointed ones, the Iesu. Takes off to what is now referred to as the Pleiades, and proceeds to continue on with the experiment with the anointed ones to produce what's referred to in ufology as the Pleiadians, okay? Another branch of something beyond Homo sapient man, all right? Also related to the human race, the family of man, okay? Some of the anointed ones stayed beside. Some of the Iesu stayed behind to carry on the good fight because they knew the adopters were getting slaughtered, their own brothers and sisters. Someone had to stay behind. So some of the anointed ones stay behind. Enki, he takes off with most of them, the lion's share of them, to the Pleiades. What happened was Enlil, now with his massive spaceship armada and whatnot, is slaughtering everyone left and right. The anointed ones, the Iesu, are like, we have nothing to go up against this, and we're the only ones who know the truth. We can't afford to go up against him and get killed. So they initiate what is now what eventually becomes referred to as running for the hills. You see this in the movie Braveheart with William Wallace and the Scots. They say, run for the hills, let the British come. When they go back, we'll attack them from behind. This, because you're dealing with primates, apes, gives birth to the term guerrilla warfare. Underground warfare, strike and hit, okay? They go taking off for the mountains. To this day, now they were also, these anointed ones, these Iesu, are also known collectively as the atoms.